Welcome to the High IQ Genius podcast, where knowledge is power. Are you a genius? We're going to find out today. And I also had a question someone asked about my education. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about how I found out that I was a genius. I certainly did not know it when I was younger. And in fact, I was told that I probably was below average in terms of my intellect. It wasn't until I took a pre-employment test for a group of doctors in Beverly Hills that I realized, based on a doctor's evaluation, that my IQ tested in the top 1% of the world. I was later invited to join the Mensa organization, and I became a life member. In fact, at present, I am the national coordinator for the special interest group on Facebook for life members of the Mensa organization. Secondly, I'm also a member of the High IQ Society Intertel. They're different than Mensa. Mensa, you must test in the top 2% of the populace in terms of your intellect on the standardized tests that are allowed. However, with Intertel, you have to test in the top 1%. So in terms of my intellect, I've been tested in the top 1% of the most intelligent people in the world. Which brings me to a point about this podcast. This podcast is not for the top 1% of the most intelligent people. This podcast is for the 99% of the others in the world that we live in every day. Now, in terms of my education, I'm actually presently enrolled as a student at the College of William and Mary. And that's considered a public Ivy League school. Some of the most notable people that attended the College of William and Mary would be Thomas Jefferson, to name one of the more notable people. Now, having said that, today I want to talk about finding out, are you a genius? Because as I said, I did not know until somebody said, Robert, you tested in the top 1% of the populace on the standardized tests that we provided for your pre-employment qualifications. And then I realized that perhaps maybe I could do something positive with this blessing. So having said that, let's talk about you. I want to dive into why it's so important that each of you explores the possibility that you might be a genius. And even if you don't test in the top 1 or 2% of the populace in terms of your intellect, knowledge is in fact power. When we gather these knowledge tools in our arsenal, it prepares us to go out in the world and be the very best that we can be. So if you think, or you'd just like to find out if you are a genius, Mensa has a great website that you can visit, and it'll guide you through the testing process to become a Mensa member. Now, moving right along, this podcast is truly designed to help one person at a time. I don't expect that it'll go viral. I do want you to subscribe to the channel. If you don't, it doesn't change my life. But as I said, it certainly could change your life in the process. So if you gain some benefit from these discussions and you are gathering some tools, whether they're communication or intellectual tools, then I would invite you to subscribe to the channel because it does help the algorithm. And of course, it helps reach more people. Now, moving forward, the High IQ Genius podcast is something that we're going to do each week. And I'm going to ask you to listen to the entire podcast because at the end, I'm going to answer or address one question that you have for one person that has taken the time to subscribe. Now, notice I didn't say I was going to solve the world's problems. Even I can't solve world hunger or bring about world peace. While I can contribute to the discussion, I alone by myself don't have that ability. So when I ask you to subscribe and I will answer or address one of your questions or problems, what I mean is I will take one person each week and I will answer or solve a problem that you have in your everyday life. Now, it could be a number of different things. Keep in mind, I don't give out legal advice and I don't give out medical advice. But 99% of all the other challenges and problems that we have, generally they can be solved with doing a little bit of research and then having an action plan to move forward. You know, my grandmother used to say that the first step of a 10,000-mile journey begins with the first step. And of course, it sounds simple, but most people don't plan to fail. They fail to plan. So I'm here to sort of guide you, use my intellectual abilities, my problem-solving skills to be a tool in going forward with your success. Now, I do want to also mention something about being a genius, having a high IQ, and typically what that entails. Now, listen, I love to solve complex analytical problems. And I get great satisfaction in doing that. However, the most meaningful way that I can impact people's lives is not by solving a complex analytical problem. I think that true genius is not showing people how intelligent that I am. I think true genius is showing people how intelligent they are. And so I'm here to impact your life in a meaningful way. Again, that's why I like to have people mention in the comment section or subscribe so I can read those and then I can respond to them accordingly. So back to your problems. We all face problems. No one's immune to challenges. And we don't have control always over those types of problems, but we do have control over the way that we respond to them. And you know, there's another old saying, life is 1% of what happens to you and 99% more of how you respond to it. So that's the gift that I would like to give to you. As you go through your journey in life and you encounter these challenges, these daily challenges, or if you have a problem or a question that you would like solved, I would like to be the one that perhaps you reach out to, whether it's just one person. That's okay with me, because as I said, I am trying to impact one person in a meaningful way and be a tool or a resource for that person. If I can change just one person's life, then I think I've accomplished what I set out to do. So please give me some suggestions in the comment section. Subscribe to the channel if you choose to. And I will take one person each week and I will either design the podcast around your question or I will address a problem that you feel is important in your life. So at the end of the day, as I always say, be awesome, be happy, be the best person that you can be. And remember, it's you against the world, and I'm betting on you.